28 poets, 28 poems, outdoor voices in an indoor world. Volume 14. Flashback of the time the ex who was never mine mistook me for the godmother of Satan's intentions. He suffocated my epiphanic accountability beneath the confines of his projections, never offering a heart nor a hug, nor a hand but a smug which said my tears of sorrow would stain his pretty brown cocoa-coated skin, as if his skin is made of heaven, as if heaven hadn't made known we were formed of the same dirt, the way God pulled me out from his rib and said, within you, my child, a piece of he will always live. He said, in me, a piece of he would always live. A piece of he will always live. A piece of he is a piece of him, and a piece of they is a piece of them. And then he looked to him and said that piece of her will always be a reflection of what you give. And at first I was lost because I felt like I gave everything. And no, that is not my reasoning for why a nigga should ride for me. It's more so my declaration for why true love would surely serve me reciprocity, why it would inevitably choose to serve the God in me just as I do. And so now, looking back, I actually think I see what God meant. See, because sometimes the gift of free will feels like an interest fee on his promises, and sometimes pure intentions and bad timing end up being a blueprint for how to deconstruct our destiny, sometimes increasing the probability of perfect just exceeds the nature of a man's capacity. So I would never call my father a liar, but I know a whispering reassurance of a husband when I hear it, for I have collected threads of security from the cushioning blankets of Christ just to call every bed we lie in together holy. So excuse me if I have a hard time understanding the disconnect between love and choice, between these words and my voice, between my mental health and my pride, as I self-love my mind into this perpetually idealistic tide that leaves me wallowing in the waves of our chemistry until I find myself washed up on the shores of his insecurities long before he decides his only means of survival calls me to be his sacrifice.
One day, soon perhaps, or later, I will sit at the edge of the mountain and make music and write a song and paint the rising crag and gather words into a poem. You will be with me, and you will wonder at their order, and you will climb despite your fears, and you will sing a delicate echo, and you will dance in perfect time. I will see you there, in the shadow of the jumbled stone, from a distant vantage, from memories you leave in the warm hold of my heart, so that if I am alone, I still will not be lonely.
My daddy has the type of laugh that can light up a childhood. My daddy has the type of wrath that can light up a childhood. So it's no coincidence that my daddy's first name is from the Norse for God and spear, my father, with the name of a superstorm and a superhero. It's difficult loving the worst parts of yourself. It's difficult knowing that you can't separate them from the best parts of yourself, so I find the ways to pity and save me through loving him. Some days I pour my heart out through my art. Some days I pour my heart out through my rage. I know the source that I pour both from is the same place, DNA, imprinted like a stain. Red has always been the color of passion. I am the daughter of a superhero and a superstorm. My daddy could tickle like the wind and howl like it too. Don't I cool the same way as my father? Don't I ice out the same way as my father? Don't I warm the same way as my father? Don't I set things on fire the same way as my father? Even our eating habits are the same, so I pay attention and try not to devour everything in my path because I know what kind of storm can brew inside of me. My daddy, the superhero, cut down the tree in my backyard with one fell swoop. My daddy, the superstorm, knocked down my family tree with one fell swoop. My father won't admit he was at fault for the timber. I still get anxiety when people yell at me to this day, but yet I learned real good from him how to cut people down at the base. Every day is a fight not to be him. Every day is a fight to be as high as the top of his shoulders. His laugh can move boulders. His anger can shake earth, the dirt under my nails, a semblance of the grit he gave me. I am not this way on accident. I am not this way on purpose. Sometimes I just can't help it, but I try to be accountable. I can't count the ways I am like him. There are too many. I am just grateful for the days that he sees it. My father saved the day when it was one of the darkest. Never asked why there was no light. He just helped me while I looked for it, stared my depression directly in the face in a way of someone who's only seen it before, superheroed my superstorm's debris with a mop and a broom that you swore were magic spears. My father apologized to me the night I wrote this poem, said sorry in a way that held hope in the back of his throat for being a better person. He gave me that hope that I could be soft enough to love the hardest parts of myself. I am the daughter of a superhero and a superstorm, and every day is a struggle trying to harness the power of the wind.
Ocean water. The ocean pushes back, alive and vigorous, the heritage of habitat. Leans against expectation, muscles its respect, without regard, without warning, without reorienting the ones with swimming pool perspectives, limitations of consistent temperatures, and painted cement walls. The ocean rumbles its sovereignty, full weight of freedom on my skin.
So this piece is called How to Write a Poem. It's a step-by-step guide. First, you grab some paper and pen, or pencil if you're a sociopath. Write the title. Write the poem. Write the title. Okay, so just doodle on the side of the paper for hours. Imagine how amazing this poem would be. Starting over. Step one, use typewriter and paper. Wait, no ribbon for the typewriter? Okay, step one. Think about a poem you like, right? Try to write your poem to emulate that poem and realize and read it back to yourself and realize they sound nothing alike. Step one, read a book and write poetry. Step one, take a class on poetry. Get a quill pen, start dressing like Edgar Allan Poe. Don't worry, the shirts is out there, I know, because I might have dropped some off at the thrift store. So, start speaking with a Victorian South London accent. You can do it with a little downtown Abbey and some practice. Start feeling like you're a poet. Then go to your open mic and realize you're a catfish. Okay, let's try this again. Step one, grab paper and pen. Write the dopest line you ever came up with. Stare at it for hours. Then add one more sentence to it and feel like you conquered the fucking world. You're proud that you made two lines that make sense next to each other, forgetting that there's maybe 20 or 30 more lines to go. And that poem was sent for months untouched as you prepare to write a different piece. All right, step one. Call yourself a fraud. Trick yourself into thinking that you hate poetry. Stumble into an open mic locally, get a taste of that dopamine, words flow vocally. You don't write it down, you remember it later. Hopefully. You excited, you go to write it, but where'd it go? It now resides in that divide of, what's his name, what's it called it? You know. Maybe you don't have the right idea or the right plan. Maybe it left you because you didn't write with the right hand. Just know that when you dive in, write from a common place, an honest place. Don't do what others tell you. It's not Simon say. But bars is going to come to you any time of day. You don't ever have to rhyme. You can be like me and rhyme away. Just know it's going to be times when you cry on stage. Or get lost in the pages. But to get out, you want to find a way. You'll revisit dungeons of your mind. In your heart, you swear you will never open. You're going to realize that you had to heal some wounds and find some more bones broken. You're going to tell some secrets and pretend you were just joking. But you're not. You popped the pill. You ate the cake. You'll travel down a lonely rabbit hole and you can't escape. I didn't make the rules. I just know that it's made this way. Why the fuck you y'all asking me? You see how terrible this poem is? When y'all figure this shit out, come back and teach me how to write a poem. Step one, are you in a relationship? Well, not anymore. Your first poem might be a love poem, but after that you won't write anymore. Step one, grab pen and paper. Wait, I said that before. Step one, accept the fact that you are a tortured soul, even though you weren't one before. Step one, understand you won't be able to enjoy the things you used to because the veil is removed or it became see-through. Step one, one step, one step. Write like your life depends on it.
An ode to expletives. Those red traffic light prayers, leaping at the world through mortal reeds, wearing B5 as a condom for coquettish clientele to enjoy, like the peacock's riotous fan, belonging to alley cats at 3 a.m., rye twining, night sirening, sharp shiny stars, carving up propriety, winding placation way. Stay flagrant, play dirty, outscream, explode, rebuke, transmute our small hands, summer in our throats to learn us, winter on our roads to teach us, red traffic light pilgrims, expectorate down generational steps, slinky fast to the beginning and keep no tongue foreign. Keep car horn choirs praying to feel better.
Hi, Mom. You there? Can you hear me? Hold the phone at the other end. Turn it around. Yeah, that's good. How you feeling? How's the pain in your butt? No, the one after you fell. Yeah, Mom, you fell. That was almost 3 years ago. Remember I called Peter and he found you in your apartment? Who's Peter? You know, Peter and Hilda, our friends. Right. That Peter. So he came and saved you. Well, we both saved you. I got worried and called Pete from here in Korea and asked him to check in on you. You'd been unconscious for days. Yeah, Mom, you were unconscious. No, you didn't get up and call the ambulance. The building manager did that. Your doctor? Well, I don't think he was doing a good job. Didn't he develop some kind of plan after your previous fall? Or the one before that? Wasn't he supposed to do something like that? No, Mom, I don't think he's a good doctor. What? He did what? He stitched little brother's lip when Richard was a kid? No, I don't think he did that. Your doctor's pretty young, Mom. He would have been a kid too when Richard was a kid. I think Dr. Dixon did that. I think he did the stitching. Please don't yell, Mom. Okay, Dr. Dixon didn't do that. The young doctor did it. Okay, fine. And your doctor says you're fine? Okay. And your doctor says I shouldn't have emailed you and said that your memory's a bit uneven? Okay, Mom, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry that I thought that, but I'm sorry I emailed your doctor because he showed you the email even when I asked him not to, and you got upset. I know the doctor thinks he's an expert at geriatrics. I know he did some post-grad with elderly patients, but he's young, Mom. Every doctor makes mistakes. No, I wasn't being mean. No, when I said things to the doctor in the email about your mind and behavior, I wasn't trying to be mean. It was a weird time, Mom. Richard, little bro, was drinking pretty heavily and you were enabling. Super enabling. The situation was a bit out of control. Something had to be done. How's little bro? How's Richard? Well, you know, Mom, you know what happened. Do I know where Richard is? Do I know where he's living? Mom, Richard isn't, you know, Mom. Mom, please stop yelling. Okay, I'll try to find him. I'll tell you the next time I see him. I don't know. I can't tell you when that'll be. But to be honest, Mom, no, forget it. What? The doctor's in love with you? You think the doctor's in love with you? And he came to your apartment to kiss you. I think he should have been checking in on you, Mom, to make sure you didn't fall, but I don't think... Okay, he loves you. I get it, Mom. No, we'll have to agree to disagree. I don't think he's that great a doctor. Okay, Mom, we're fine. S is fine. We're both busy. Yeah, I'll call you again soon. Lots of love. Good night.
Count Cullen and I are of this consensus. Prejudice drafts psychopaths. Their warpaths transfix our people to many a crucifix. There resides the reason why my protest must never relax from typing its attacks. Addressed to your psyche, my compositions are microphones for Emmett Till, Michael Griffith, Yusef Hawkins, Amadou Diallo, Sean Bell, Ramarley Graham, Trayvon Martin, Darius Simmons, Jordan Davis, Renisha McBride, Eric Garner, etc., etc., etc. Addressed to your psyche, you can hear the murdered entreat. Don't allow another name to join a homicide report sheet. Don't allow another name to join a homicide report sheet. Addressed to your psyche, the compositions I've written are parts of a bulletin. The passages transmit to our terra firma's retina. Addressed to your psyche, my protest wants life to evict the combustive and discriminative. If armed with you, lawfulness will live.
Jewel Justice. Letter to a King. There be a place for you to rest and find refuge, and it's nestled amongst this love I have for you, amidst the prayers that have gone up to cover you, in a place where you can lay your burdens down and lighten your load. That place where trust resides and there's no need for you to hide. A place where you can reveal your wounds so that you can be healed and the flaws in your facade may be patched for another day. But for now, in this space, you are free to simply be you in whatever form that may look like. And I am here to allow you rest in my bosom and partake of this revitalizing energy found there, and beware. Do not take this offer for granted. I am not a temporary placeholder. I be permanent fixture, a anchor in a sea of uncertainty, a lighthouse in a stormy night where you can seek shelter within me, gathering strength to continue to fight for your dreams and aspirations, because you deserve peace, happiness, and love, a place to be emotionally vulnerable. You can find that with me. This is a letter to a king. Do you see your kingdom as you envisioned it to be? Poem.
Yesterday in America, a grown man made a post on social media sharing his disgust about little boys watching the new Little Mermaid. He covered his male fragility by asking friends on his Facebook timeline if we were taking our sons. And I wasn't going to respond to his catch and release drama, but some of the comments had me hooked. So I took the bait, responded that my son wanted to see it and would later. I said my son just wanted to see Guardians of the Galaxy first, so he did. This man said I proved his point. I said no. I said my son wants to see both. He just wanted to see the other more. Dude didn't like the answer, like you can't rock it with both Ariel and Groot. And while he doesn't become irate, his upset is obvious. And it occurs to me that he doesn't normally post things where he seems upset. Doesn't really lead the commentary on socially conscious topics. He does not share outrage at how many women are killed daily in domestic violence cases. He does not explode in anger when a girl is sex trafficked or appear disturbed when a woman is called a bitch for rejecting a man. And so I found it fishy that out of every possible trigger, what fires him up is boys watching stories about a princess. As though appreciation of women somehow makes men softer. I wanted to ask if he prefers his men hard. But I didn't want to get called a bitch, so I digressed and instead hit a laugh emoji on his final comment to me. He ended it with the word sweetie, so I already knew the misogyny was real. He said to me, it's funny how women be wrong and swag off like they right. Like my differing opinion makes me less and him more. Like his attempt at being a shark was gonna bring the guppy out of me. But what's a shark anyway to a killer whale? And besides, this dude ain't even a merman, he's a mere man. And what's a mere man to a mermaid? Maybe he should watch the movie. Yes. Find out about how hard a princess could go. But ain't it crazy that the thought of a boy liking a cartoon about a fictional girl, a tale about a mermaid, swims around in his fishbowl ass head rent-free until it almost drowns him in worry? I wonder if he knows he's more Ursula than King Triton, the way he wants to steal Ariel's voice, keep it away from boys who would love her if given the chance. But I didn't tell him that. Didn't want to compare him to a narcissistic octopus who uses her tentacles to bring darkness into places of light. Instead, I just let his crabby ass off the hook. But make no mistake, the next time he decides to go fishing, he might catch more than this attitude.
I want to give you babies, like a lot of them. I want to see you whipping in the kitchen, hair tied, apron on, like I want a pot of them. My wrist work cold, and I think you just as chilly. See, I'm from the Windy City. I blew in from around the way. I used to be Rolling Stone, but you be brick. You make me stay. I want to build a foundation so you can lay just about anything on my chest. Your worries, your cares, your hands, your lips, your face, your love. I want you to lay on me on your lazy days. I'ma need that too. Actually, I'm cool if you want every day to be lazy for you. but I just know you're not one of them. That's why I'm trying to make you one of me. I'm trying to make you the sum of me. I can't see us being divided, girl. Girl, I'm trying to make you one with me. It's only right we multiply. Only right you make a few sums with me. If you got some years to spare, you might as well spend some with me. Maybe 20, 30, maybe even 50 or 60. Our price go up the longer you with me. I can definitely see mine going up with you. You look through my eyes, you'll see billboards being put up with you, see. See, when I say babies, I don't mean just humans. I mean like businesses too. Let's make birthmarks out of trademarks. I want to merge our stocks. I want you pregnant with my dreams. And I'll carry yours too. Full term, no stillbirth. I'm talking alive and well. Don't you hear it? Don't you hear how you spell out my name puts me under a spell? How good Cage sounds next to yours. I'm way too intentional. I want to make sure I pour all of my primer into your paint, baby. Let's paint the town. And then let's paint a house. And when the kids turn 18, we don't even gotta kick them out. Let's just give them one of ours. I think of you, and I think of flowers. I think of you, and I think of gardening for hours, no like. I think of you, and I think of making a forest of yours, mine, and ours. Cause baby you be, yeah, you be my baby, like my first one. I thought I had 3 or 4, but I think you my first love.
I want to give you love, like a lot of it. I want to be where you plant your seeds, like the plot of it, or maybe be a part of it. See, I be so black woman, so receiving, and you just a collection of seeds. You be so giving when I be needy. Turns out you need me. See, I be the support when your dreams spring. There when they break through the surface, I'm talking seedlings. My wordplay kinda crazy. And I sensed you was just as passionate. See, I liked your particular cadence. Cause I heard the grit from your past and it made sense. Your vulnerability wasn't makeshift. You the kind who can shapeshift. The kind of nigga who transforms his pain through passion. When he could have been an ain't shit nigga who blames his present on his past. Cause he can't quit being tied to the nigga from his past. Now that's an ancient nigga. You said you blew in from the Windy City. Rode your stone down to Ohio. Well, I'm from the capital, a little down the way. I heard you stay here too, like around the way. You was a cold one, me too. But now you got the sum of me. I want to give you love like a lot of it, like the sum of me. Did you know that your stock goes up when you add unto me? Furthermore, how your price goes up cause you gain the sum of me. I'll add some understanding in there too so we don't spoil this. I like to get my hands dirty too in case you tired of toiling. And babies, we gon' oil them. We gon' anoint them with our gifts, we gon' spoil them. Have you ever heard the song Pushin' P? It go like Pushin' P, like push the P out of Paige then add the C, cause Cage just compliments my name so well and well. I might as well turn your last name up by a few degrees. I want to give you a lot of things like buildings and properties. Let's add a few acres in there so we can start building properly.
This poem is called A Rhythm Like Ebony. Ebony, like the black keys on the piano. Something like a harmony, like a melody, like the wood, strong and durable. Infinite like the universe, a pull like a black hole. A force that does work to increase and elevate the energy of the world. Ebony. A rhythm like ebony. Ebony essence. A soul like ebony. Compassionate presence. Passion, 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 passion. Extraordinary passion for my community. Bond, better yet, a unity. I am ebony. I am patient. I am authentic. I am kinetic. I bend, but I don't break. I give and find it hard to take. I give life. If I have a daughter, goddammit, I'm naming her Ebony. I lead myself. I know my worth. I put God first. I grace the earth. I am the light at the end of the tunnel. And the darkest of my nights was my love. I am the light. Now, my roots dwell in warm tropics. I am a magical vacation. Come to my getaway. How about a staycation? Ebony. A smile like ebony. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ebony is of least lightness, but somehow still the light. 50 Shades of Black, ebony. When I get off track, the light leads me back. Vulnerable, honest, trying my darn hardest, ebony. I am soft. I am kind. I am love. I am hard. I am determined. I cannot be stopped. I am unapologetically ebony. I am not sorry. IQ of a genius. Infinite intelligence of love. I am smart. I woke up like this. I am me, you heard me. And that's all I can be. Like the last Mike Jack tour, this is it. Nothing more, nothing less. I am equal. Something like a solution. I can't stand for pollution. I can't stand for dilution. Be all of yourself, Ebony. Be your best self, Ebony. Be all of yourself. Be. Why don't we? Thank you.
Among all those things, a wonky wardrobe, a bunch of napkin holders, a sweater with holes, used undergarments, would you believe? More incredible is that they put me on it, a stolen child, with umbilical cord and all. Fearfully she heard my heartbeat when I was in her womb. My mama, number 90049. She wasn't allowed to nurse me. What she produced for me was far too precious to be wasted on her newborn. That's what I am, a waste product. Once again, she saw her calf carted away. She won't know if I would be clubbed, shot, or maybe shut in a crate. Because stone-hearted deem my skin super soft to wear and flesh tender on dinner plate. Smell of her sweet kiss never left my face. Her tears on my chest still wet. Her never-ending grief run in my veins. After all, the memories of a 3-day-old boy are featherweight. Now I am on a list. They call it Craig's List. Among all those things, a bunch of napkin holders, a dog with 2.5 legs, but way more loyal than the 2-legged ones.
A bunch of bunnies, a broken steering wheel, a calf. Merle, that's me. Are you wondering who gave a disposable child a name? My carers from another world, where I am not garbage. Here I am loved, I'm priceless. A sentient being, not garbage, not a waste product. My mama, number 90049. Her life was taken. More were brought in her place. She continues to live in my dreams. I will always remember her. And that's what orphans do.
Stairs. Climbing, descending, leading to the stove, to your bed, to the door. Always the route, never the destination. Routine, steadfast, one foot in front of the other, until your mom's voice on the other side of the phone stops you mid-stare. Your feet forget to work as you learn your stepfather has cancer, and the banister is all you have to keep from falling. The stairs become a seat as you learn it is terminal, shocked beyond the ability to move. Learning your stepdad's path was no longer climbing stairs, only falling down them. So many things at the top of the stairs he would never get to see. A cruel reminder that stairs sometimes go in only one direction. Sometimes when falling down the stairs, the final sound when you hit the bottom isn't a thud. It's a shriek of agony. It's silence. Sometimes, despite the memories you cling to, you look up and the stairs are devoid of life. Just empty. Apart from the dust.
I am not a color. I was born to an actual father and mother. Soon y'all will discover I got loyalty and royalty inside of me. I am a mutt breed, bred from a dog seed. Seemingly semen be landed in women, purposely I see. Talk about the nutcracker. I've cracked through enough chatter. I have a purpose, see. Even if you doubt, it be worth the amount of marches, riots, and shouts you've seen. We are here, man. We are humans with different hues, man. Stop. Wait a minute. We are cocked and loaded. I got my titty in my baby's mouth, so I got a lot on my hands. I've been feeding these babies since way back when, since my great-greats feet bled, walking them dirt pavements in the deep south, up north, long river bends, Black River, Indian, landing in Cleveland. See, I'm gonna keep a rifle, just in case they try and play wanting to stifle the growth of my next arrivals. The next seeds to be, see, this black woman, yeah, black womb, man. My womb got room for a black movement to be birthed again, and again, and again, and again. I am golden. I am goddess. I am the rules and the consequences. Without me, you truly won't ever breathe again. I got time on my hands. Even when they're full, taking care of a home filled with black children filled with what love is and what is be fulfilling. Can't take the world constantly wanting to drain the fulfillment from my children. I figure colors used to be exciting. Now they're just blinding.
My friends and I will tuck peace lilies into the strings of your guitar when you're not looking. I'll salt green lentils and mushrooms over an ancient cast iron skillet. Sweet black tea will be boiling. A clear, clean beam of sunshine will laser into my chest. There will be several of us named River, because we're all born in the same one. Your single glittering eye will flutter at me from across the room, drawing attention like glints of gold butterflies in a still museum. Vines will curl between towers, intricately woven veins, carrying the city's vital, pearlescent blood. Smelling like lemongrass will indicate one thing, and one thing only: that you are down. Brave mice will scatter across knees, and the kneeling will offer them water. Your attention will afforest the grazed earth of my focus. Southwest of lemongrass types, there will be moss types, and those with moss tendencies. I'll be in this category, I decided. There will be electric dances nearly every night in the generous, misty caves. By my offering to braid your hair, first privately, and then, yes, in front of our closest friends, word'll get out. People will get it.
The heads of Conquest on the floor in the closet never tell the story of my mother, the assassin. She wears the scalps of the slain for decoration, or maybe to send a message to the others. Best not fuck with the queen. The styrofoam people, extinct, reduced to floating white heads, faceless, appear mysteriously on the dining room table, hauntingly, taunting me, scare me shitless when I turn on the light. Have the ghosts come to reclaim what is theirs? Oh, the styrofoam heads, they tell no tales. She washes their tresses in the sink, hangs them on a clothesline, reunites the scalps to their owners, adorns them in pink rollers. Others marvel at my mother's sorcery, how she manages to go from short hair to long overnight. Asks her if that's her real hair. She replies, "It is now."
A sonnet for the lonely. There is no need at all to be lonely, as long as you can get outside your home. For everywhere you'll normally see other people who are also alone. Merely engage them in conversation, then ask them in for a tea and a chat. They'll likely return the invitation, and you befriend. It's as easy as that. Also, of course, there are numerous clubs for gardening, sports, film, dance, knitting, choirs, and churches, shops, cafes, restaurants, pubs, which can fulfill all your friendship desires. Just remember, we all want friends, we do, and there's no reason one couldn't be you.
The foundation of our nation is built on the backs and bones of African Americans. Our hearts, hands, blood, sweat, tears, and intellect, all serving as fertilizer to a burgeoning country. Our ancestors' grave sacrifices and noble contributions must be revealed and recognized. Consequently, we employ the power of the fine arts as palette is to canvas, documenting our pain, commemorating our achievements, and celebrating our triumphs, because history, like the fine arts, is a living, breathing entity, unceasing and beautiful, when the majesty of all the shades and tones of the African diaspora are truly represented.
Control the Dread Rock. Beginning countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Dread Rock, you are clear. Over.
You just see the streaks at sublight speed, as if every star becomes pinpoint and projectile across the effect, tastes like synesthesia to your ears, drown out blast and burn with mantras and daydreams, mixed with escape of gravity and poverty and pollution and gravity and politics and pop of life and your homeworld self-destruction with thrust a few sectors out there, right there, where we play tricks on their gravity, bounce off stratospheric anomaly, a deep space mixtape hustled on the way here, on a backwater planetoid fuel up, slingshot out of orbit as clumsily as a training wheel newbie. Times ain't changed much. I gotta get back eventually, deadlines, paychecks, clowns collecting taxes for broken promises. But I have this habit of stretching rocket limits, putting dozens of systems in the rear scan, very satellites of every world, every sun, even speck of dust to turn to streaks of yesterdays at throttle up.
Drip, drip, puddles everywhere, splashing, soaking, weathermen saying the storm is gonna last. Let it rain, I say, let it wash my tears away. Camouflage is only for a while. People wondering how through a storm can she smile. No one can see my tears as they fall down to the ground, evaporated later, taken to the sky, mixed with heaven's glory, enough to show the angels my story. Restored. Drip, drip, the new fall rain starts. This time I will stand there and let it fall on my heart. No raincoat or umbrella needed, for I need the drops to be seated in my vessel, for this is the rain that holds my answers. Answers to the questions I cried out in my tears, the ones that left my soul full of doubt, pain, and fears. I love it when it rains, my beginning and my end. So when the forecast says rain, all I say is, send.
Underwater birds are called stingrays. Men who need love and hugs are called ray-rays. Who are these men wanting insatiable love from women who were given incestual touches, the enforced blind eyes of weak mommy cries of why you make him do that? The tragedies we have all seen are too meaningful to take a sip and drink the lean and spill all the beans and tea settings of porcelain doll play. So beautiful to look at, but too fragile to touch. But you did, Ray. And that's when the crashing began. 'Cause all the hurt from the other man who murdered her innocence within. Now she be flipping words like a razor blade with that tongue. Yeah, any old and new arguments she's won because she's won. Just one word away from the dong, or shall I say to you, Ray, the ding-dong from you across her dome. Why is her Ray not here to say no? Let her go. He was the singing Ray on the corner the other day, bellowing melodies that hugged his soul. To see the tears of his heart with nobody to hold, he did have it, but that porcelain he broke took from him his beloved princess because he was penniless with only real love to give, wanting the courage to be courageous from shattered glass fragility of no mulierity. Only you just gonna leave me. He yelled to her, wait for me, I can do it. I need you to help me shoulder through it, shoulder the pain of being a main man character that I've been role playing. We can't forget her mentality is quadriplegic and you can't radio that away. Brethren, you a real man. Talk your talk, brother, and walk your walk. Stand your ground, and you can regain your power. You just gotta beat the doubts, and you gotta shout at your fears, and don't wipe away and hide your tears. Abraham, you can find Sarah. You just need to pray and move differently. Because, see, she really is coming. When you don't see her, go to the thrift because she's that re-gift of a rag doll that you've been looking over for the wild. At the counter checkout, she been bagging all your fits for the next. Checkmate. Because she hugs. Not like drugs, but she drugs with her kisses of eternity. Analytically in her head, she says, he'll never leave me. It isn't what you got, it's what you get. With no nets, fly underwater stingray. Sing the songs of ocean wave in the shimmer of hydrogen and oxygen. Pick her like a pickerel, fish in these seas of men. See the Almighty, cause that's where she been. Now, the healing of your mind, body, and soul will begin. Just don't let her go.
I'm a writer of sorts, and most of the time my thoughts get in the way, convert my pen. I end up not saying what I'm really trying to convey. No one wants to be judged in front of a crowd of strangers or a mirror, magnifying flaws while trying to send a message describing my own personal condemnation in the open of my performance. Yet, my social media page is Love Now, Adam spells poetry. And when I go to write uncontrollably, I have thoughts like, I hated myself for going to prison, punished myself mentally, yet expected forgiveness from my peers, but never forgave myself first. I had to learn how to. I actually did that this year with therapy that I still attend bi-weekly, sometimes while weeping to attack what weakens, but I still carried that scar into my physical freedom. This existence, personal shackles, limited my own abilities, feeling as if I will always remain in that tormented season. I tried reasoning with myself, forgiving myself for my own thoughts. My mom taught me that to always forgive. I don't think she ever told me the alternative was to love myself, but I couldn't. I wanted to write about it. No title ever came to start the first line, just jumbled up words, unsure how to properly place the adjective or the adverb, how to write clearly with tears impairing your vision. Listen, I sit and tell myself to scribble out this new book, but too much grief hovering over my soul controls when you're burdened and feeling low. It's easier for the devil to keep control of your troubled mind, but quiet time for me can lead to elite stardom or catastrophic danger, and I'm awkward and I'm quirky and I'm thinking maybe I should just be quiet, a loner, a closet stoner, so I respond in private when my thoughts turn into questions. I ask myself, are you afraid to die? No. Why? There are enough words on paper that I've written for me to live a whole lifetime. Is fear a handicap? No. Untold strength is underneath fear. Is always one of the rules of survival to remain humble when the battle of life or death keeps you honest. Breathing provides strength, and I promise myself not to think about dying today. Not like I thought I did when grief had me in a chokehold. Not like I thought I did when God called my favorite cousin home from a house fire that claimed him and 4 other souls. Not like I thought I did when I gave up and I gave in, heartbroken from a record-breaking job as a pallbearer 6 times in a 5-year span. Is all this pain and constant anguish supposed to be a part of my faith, or am I cursed, living my destiny on the plan that God created? I pray and ask that often. Sometimes we live our life and forget we was ever even waiting on an answer. I've always wondered, unaware why it's been so hard to say all of this on paper, that I decided to write it all down and tell myself it was just my thoughts so I can finally share it with someone and just call it a poem.
Somebody needs me. Mother, father, sibling. I can hear them calling. Somebody always calling. I am calm under pressure, perfect peace in a crisis. Perhaps that's why they call. Maybe it's because I answer. I have always answered. Often unawares of another call. One that goes unanswered, ringing quietly, lonely echoing, like an imperceptible whisper, coming from inside the house, ringing, just ringing.
I grew up the brand of poor. We didn't ask our parents for money. Our parents would ask us. We was in like a on-again, off-again relationship with stable housing. I remember finding out there was other people in this world that could just eat whenever they was hungry, and I remember all the times I was starving, wishing for the same thing. And I don't want pity, but I have realized whenever I talk about my life casually, it sounds like change rattling in a cup. So I start code switching to higher tax brackets. I learn new words, new looks, new pronunciations just so I can fit in with these new friends, because y'all, when you're this poor, imposter is not a syndrome, it's a survival tactic. So now I keep wondering, who am I when I leave this penniless past behind? And I'm asking like I'm actually in a position to. I'm trying to remember where I came from before going anywhere. What is being broke if not imagine being rich? Because truth be told, I hate these rich niggas. But man, what I would do to be rich nigga? I know good and well what capitalism does to its poor. But I've been too busy imagining what it's like to be wealthy to even picture a world where poverty doesn't exist. So now riches is the promises that we are sold, so we run, because the rich know the easiest way to stop the servants from beheading the masters is convincing them that they can become one. So wealthy coons say it can be you with their lives rehearsed, but calling themselves black billionaires is the only time that they put black first. Y'all, I know my enemies are not around me, but the ones who are looking down, dropping dollar bills on politicians working polls, dropping pennies when we dropping dead, dropping change when we working for a living. Every single day, 25,000 people die of starvation. In America alone, we throw away enough food to feed them all. There are kids with no education or tools in buildings that look more like prisons than schools. We spend trillions of dollars on troops and bombs. This country has enough to heal the world's poor, but it chooses not to be the bomb. Y'all, there's 500,000 homeless people with 17 million vacant homes. Being homeless in America is like dying of thirst in the middle of the sea. Don't you realize how often we are taught to hate those in poverty, even though we all one paycheck away from being in the same exact position? You know the scriptures say, what will it profit someone to gain the whole world and lose their soul? And I don't know, y'all. We've all been dying to find the answer.
I'm currently 23 3/4. My birthday is like around the corner, 23 3/4. And that's crazy because like, I'm kind of like old. You know, like.
I think these socks I have on are a little bit right. You might be the youngest person here.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Cause like,
she's got an old cow. My walking game.
it's wild to think about, you know, because I'm like, I'm over 2 decades, and that's like a lot. Like, I have a problem with that. Like, I can't be 23 3/4 because I'm entirely too young. Like, I feel like there's a checklist of things you have to do before 23 3/4. And based off that list, I'm probably like 17, maybe 16, which is, that's probably why I have never, ever, not once in the history of everything ever, lost a game of never have I ever. Like, I always win easy. Like, a friend could say, never have I ever been drunk. And while most of the circle surrenders one of their fingers, overlapping it with other fingers laid down in defeat in rounds prior, I, with 10 fingers standing strong, laugh. 'Cause I'm gonna win. And I know it. And I'm a sore winner. So I look at the circle proud, and I say, never have I ever seen a pork chop. And the looks I get after that are usually just really sad, but that's okay, because I win. The only game I can win for having such a clean slate, which is perfect because I never, ever have to worry about dirtying it up as long as I have this game. It's better this way, see, because if anything should happen to me, there'll be nothing to slander my name with, nothing to dig out the dirt, no dirt to dig into in the first place. I stay in line, I keep my head down, I keep my mouth shut, because I know how far they'll go to stretch a story wide enough to cover their own ass, to repurpose slight character flaws for a guilt-free narrative. Should I be gunned down tomorrow, may the news headlines paint me beautiful, paint me truth, paint me in full color, not just in black, paint me human. May my shooter be villain in my narrative, not hero in their own. May the sound of their name be irrefutably disturbing. Should I be gunned down tomorrow, may you remember my words and know that I didn't deserve to die. Know that I lived each waking moment so deep in fear of bullets that I forgot how to sin. And as you hear my words in this moment, remind yourself that the price for one small mistake should never be death. Remind yourself that the price for not following orders should never, ever be death. Remind yourself that a child, yes, a child that makes one mistake does not deserve to be shot and shot and shot and shot and shot and shot. Know that his mother, like every mother, did not deserve to see her son's blood flee his lifeless corpse as he slowly decayed in the middle of the street. He, like you and I, was human and therefore made mistakes. He was 18, but I would trade him my chance to turn 23 and 3/4 if I could. Should I be gunned down tomorrow, know that I, like anyone else would be, was scared. When they dig up my mistakes that I'm too afraid to admit I have made, remember this poem. Remember I stayed in line the best I could, kept my head down, my mouth shut. Know that I have never, ever lost a game of never have I ever. 10 fingers always pointed to the sky. Thank you.
Cried out the most tears.